Hi guys, welcome back to another daily tarot card. These are your daily tarot cards for Wednesday, July the 5th, 2023. Today we're pulling from the Wild Unknown Tarot book. This is very reminiscent of Friday's cards. You know, we were talking about full moon after full moon, so I was like July, August, September. You know, they're showing this crescent moon, so heading into a new moon, you know what I mean, with this Empress card, there's a rebirth in our life, and this could be like, if this is what you've been waiting for, this is like, you know, your partner is about to come in. This is someone you've been manifesting. This is someone that will respect you and love you and care for you. If you're like myself and have children, will respect the family. They're not coming in here to, you know, they're showing Fluffy, the comedian, where he had met someone and she had children. He's like, I'm taking over a lease. He's like, I didn't go in there and start telling everybody what to do, because you're not. Like, this is an established family, so that it's just like, you know, you could come and be a part of it. You know what I mean? And learn to grow with it and flourish and grow it. We can all grow together. Or if you come in here like a dictatorship, you're going to be going right out the door. You know what I mean? So it's just like, you know, this is where they're saying take your time. There will be false people coming into your life that you think are there for the right reasons, and they're not. You know, this is why, you know, thank God for Ed Quinn and Nancy Quinn. You know, Ed said, do not advertise that you're a widow and a widower. Do not put it on your Facebook. Do not put it on your, like, if you're on dating apps, don't put that you're a widow or widower. People will take advantage of the fact that, oh, they're fragile. Oh, they're lonely. Oh, they're this. Oh, they're that. Everybody seems to think, like, once you lose your partner, like, you win the lottery. Half the time, you're not. Most of the time, you're not. You're lucky if you were, you know, responsible in an established relationship, you know, but it's just like sometimes, you know, in my case, it's like you don't know what your partner's doing because the money was separate. You know, your money was your money. My money, my money was the family money, but, you know, anyway. But it's just like, you know what I mean? It's just like you have to start over again. And it's just like we didn't work this hard to get to where we are now to have someone come in and destroy it all. I will not let anyone do that, you know? This is why Spirit is like, you took the time to heal. And they see that. You know, you will see as the definitions play out where it does say to take your time. You know, I was just watching, I kid you not, last night, I was watching this on TikTok. I was posting some angel cards, and Pamela Anderson happened to come up, and she was doing an interview with Howard Stern, and she said that her and Tommy Lee were fast. They were like there was just like fireworks, and everything just took off, and they had these beautiful children, and you know, they obviously, as they grew, you know, together, they also grew apart. You know, they're both different people. They both wanted different things. So it's just like, you know, she ended up, you know, divorcing him, but she has these two beautiful boys with him. Young men, I should say. And it's just like, you know, she sat there, and I feel like she feels those things that she, or maybe she thinks she feels these things that she felt with Tommy, and it was so fast and quick that she, you know, I feel like that's where she repeats like these cycles of being married so quickly, because she's like, this is it. This is exactly what I had, those feelings, and that, you know, reminiscent of what I had with Tommy. This is it. And then she gets married, and I feel like they bamboozle her, and then they turn out to be something else. And she's like, okay, how do I escape out of this? And she literally said that. She literally said that. She's like, I get into these things. She goes, I'm at the altar. I say I do. And as soon as I'm married, the switch flicks. And all of a sudden, the true them comes out. You know what I mean? And I'm like, girl, I've been there. You know? He literally said to me, oh, do I get a turn now? Do I have a chance now? You know what I mean? Not like get a turn now. Do I have a chance now? And I was just like, what? And very sweet, very supportive, very understanding, by my side and everything. And I'm just like, you know, fell head over heels. I'm like, okay, he's understanding. He understands. Like, I should have known, like, with one person that I was with, and, you know, I should have never, but it was just like, his friend said, she works 3 jobs. Like, you shouldn't be with her. And I'm like, I work 3 jobs because I will have ambitions and dreams. This was in my early 20s. I'm working that hard to make sure that I don't end up on the street. And my brother was living with me at the time. So it's like, I'm working hard to make sure that we have the things we didn't have as children. You know, like toilet paper, like shampoo, like conditioner. You know, we live a comfortable life. That's why I work 3 jobs. And if you're not understanding of that, I should have just left it there. Show me who his true colors were. I should have just left it there. But nope, I was stupid. Went back, and it's just, I should have just left it there. But nope, I was a dumbass. you know? But that's what I mean. The longer you're with people, the more they will, and I end up being isolated. It was just like, he would tell me things, and it's just like, saying how malicious and bad these people were to him. And I'm the type of person, I'm a ride or die. You know what I mean? I'm like, if you treat someone that I care about like crap, I don't want nothing to do with you. But then you turn around the next day and they're all buddy buddy. And I'm like, I thought you said they were doing this, this, this. But they're all friendly and chummy. So it's like that isolation, isolating away from you from people. And now you're all isolated and alone. Now the true colors come out. Well, where are you going to go? You have nobody. And it's like, little do you know. You know what I mean? So it's just like, give it time, let things, play out. Learn from your mistakes of the past. That's what the only thing the past is good for, is to learn from your mistakes. The past is also good to, reminisce about the good times. There's also good things about the past, but it's just like, never turn to the past and be like, yeah, Michael does talk about, like, especially Michael talks about, times with his dad. And I understand that, the house, because those are the more recent memories he remembers, because he was very young when his dad passed away. So it's just like, just because you see things that remind you so much of people, like especially with Shane, there has been someone that does remind me a lot of him. You know what I mean? And like the intelligence and everything like that. But at the same time, it's just like, doesn't mean just because our heart is awakened by someone doesn't mean that they're meant to be in our life. This reminds me of before, where it's just like, didn't know everything, the full story. You know what I mean? The more I found out, the more I was infatuated, artist and all this stuff. And I'm just like, wow, like, very intrigued. But then there was the other side where it was like, they were saying like, I can't remember the word, but it was like not a very good word to be drunk. Like basically standing up for a picture and basically passing out. I'm just like, oh my word. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of pictures of that, passing out drunk. And I'm like, nope, don't want that. You know what I mean? So it's just like, this is where Spirit is like, let us tell you the story. Let us unfold the information. And I feel like that's where Pamela was like, I sat there, thought they were these things. And then once we got married, it's just like, okay, how the heck do I get out of this? You know what I mean? How do I quickly annul this? How do I, she's like, I withdrawal. And she's just like, then I find a way to get out. You know what I mean? So it's just like, just because you've gone through these things, and yes, our body is lonely. Like they said, the mind is strong, but the body is weak. It's like, let your brain take over here. You know what I mean? Let things flow. In the beginning, it's always great. First 3 to 6 months. And then, it starts to fade away. You know what I mean? They're saying, give it 2 years, and see what happens. But I definitely feel like it's just like, don't let them, if they were meant to add to your life, they would add to your life. Don't let them isolate you. That's the worst thing ever. Keep doing and changing you. You are who you are. They don't like it, then we're not meant to be together. We're meant to grow together, not to sit there and you come in, change for the better. Maybe build up your confidence and believe in yourself. But that's the only change that should happen, not to tear you so far down that it's just like you don't even recognize who you are anymore, or like who you see in the mirror anymore. So we start with the Lovers. Union, desire, joy. So desire, that's the thing. We desire certain things in life, but it's just like, once you get that out of the way, it's like, is that really what you desire? 2 Canadian geese are mates for life, traveling partners with an expansive sky. The Lover's card is a welcoming sight in any reading, as it suggests a beautiful, strong relationship is on the horizon. Yes, you'll experience all the thrills and desires and romance, but meanwhile you'll be building a solid foundation together. The lovers honor and respect each other, and with that they could go anywhere. If you're already in a relationship, it's time to be grateful and nourish this rare and precious gem. Sometimes we overlook our partners. Sometimes we overlook what we have in life. Go back to, The Nightmare Before Christmas, where, I believe it's the 9 of Potions, where it's like, if only we could bottle this feeling forever. And there's days where I wake up and I'm like, thank you, Lord, for another blessed day. Every day in every way, my life continues to get better and better. Sometimes I can tell that I'm tired. I can definitely feel it today. I feel like it's been the heat that we had. The lack of sleep. I definitely slept in today because I was like, I'm going to get up this time. I'm like, oh, forget it. I'm like, I'm just going to sleep. You know, I need it. I could just feel it in my body. Even waking up, I was just like, oh, I so want to go back to sleep. But I'm like, nope, I got things to do. Get up. I went and checked the grass. It's too wet to cut. So I'm like, I'll leave it. Maybe I'll cut a little bit before I start my other job. But it's just like, you know what I mean? It's sitting there and caring for yourself. You know what I mean? Like, you are just as important as everybody else. So creation and nurture the mother. The Empress is the mother, the goddess, and of the tarot. Her energies encompass all that is warm, fertile, creative, and sensual in the world. Her strength comes from being gentle and compassionate and loving without binding. When this card appears, it's pointing to either a maternal relationship in your life or the side of yourself that wants to love more. The Empress also suggests it's time for you to reconnect with nature. Go outside tonight and find the moon. Always looking for the moon. But I love the fact with the Empress, you know, one thing they were highlighting with Instagram was her stomach. But that sphere, you know what I mean? You know, the biggest two spheres in our life are what? Well, three. Earth, moon, and sun. You know? And isn't that with our birth charts as well? You know? Major elements, planets. You know, but with her, it's Venus, rules by love. And it's like they're saying, part of her wants to be loved. A part of us wants to be loved, to love, you know, and nurture. You know, but the thing with myself is being like in hermit mode, quote unquote, if you will. But it's just like, you know what I mean? Getting to watch the shows that I want to watch, you know, sitting there and eating what I want to eat. Like, you know what I mean? Not even sitting there and having another thing added to my plate, you know? So there is freedom that comes from isolation. But it comes at a price. You know, when you need someone by your side like that, like a partner that's understanding and everything, it's like, you know, that's where it's like, you know, that understanding has to come in, you know? They're like in all your quirkiness. You know, Ace of Wands, this major rebirth, this I love it's like bravery, courage, strength. I love the fact that it's a portal, you know what I mean? I love the fact they're like believe, you know what I mean? Because a lot of us, it's like, oh, hogwash, blah, blah, blah. When you start putting stuff like that, you're putting negative juju into your life. You're sitting there and adding, you know, doubt. You're adding boulders in your path. You know, this is where, you know, Spirit is telling us to embrace our fire. You know, release all fear, worry, and doubt, anxiety, depression, worry. You know, expansion, inspiration, an extremely high energy card. The Ace of Wands indicates new growth in all around you. Your ideas, outlook, and expand. And creativity seems endless. Remember they were talking about acorn last week, and here's the tree with the Empress? You know, they told me with the fall. You know what I mean? So it's like, you know, maybe I could look on the moon chart and see where this is going to happen in the month that they showed me. And it's just like, you know, look when that timeline is. But it's like also letting like universe be mysterious and magical. You know what I mean? One thing I love to do is when they give me channel messages like that, I put the time and date away. And then it's like when that comes around, I'm like, okay, let's see what happened. You know, what they told me, you know, and they were very truthful in one situation. It's like, you know what I mean? Don't let the rose-colored goggles blind you of what's going on around you or how the person made you feel already. It's like, that's red flags. You know, Spirit is warning you. It's like, we're showing you who this person is. Like, don't be stupid. You know what I mean? This fertile time can also have literal meanings. A pregnancy or birth is on the horizon. I know someone that's about to give birth or has given birth. Though thrilling to embark on your new journey, your good judgment is needed more than ever. Don't rush into it. So where we were just talking about with the shadow wood or the dark wood tarot cards, it's just like, you know, don't be bamboozled by your heart. You know, I love my heart. It's so big and loving. It is so generous. You know, I'm very grateful for it, you know, in that way. But it's at the same time, it's like, now we got to put our brain, like let our, you know, crown chakra take over. Let our brain take over, where it's just like, you know, these people have shown us who they are. Definition of insanity. It's like, you know, let's not repeat these cycles again. You know what I mean? Because it's the same thing over and over and over again. You know, be kind to yourself. You know what I mean? Sit there and love yourself to be like, you know what? I refuse to be, you know, taken advantage of again. You know? Four of Pentacles. You know, this is where the fear comes in. We are so fearful. Even myself, anyone that has gone through what we've gone through, And you get back in the game. It's like, how do I know they're not going to repeat what I've been through before? We don't know that. But the thing is to take our time and let them show, even if they remind us of that feeling, how it was with someone that we shared so much of our life with, and maybe we had children with. It's like, just because those feelings are there, give it time. You don't have to rush into anything. You've already had a family. You've already been married. So, you know what I mean? You've experienced those things. So now this is a time to rewrite the past in the best possible way. You know what I mean? Where it's just like 2.0, like I said, bittersweet. Where you're now going to be in a relationship where, you are seen, you are heard. You know what I mean? They care. They see how you are. Like, it's just like they want you around. You know what I mean? Like, you are their everything, and that's what matters. They know what matters to you, and they'll do everything they can to make sure that those things are continue to be a part of your life. So the Four of Pentacles first suggests material gain and stability. Only good for news for you and your bank account and home. Yet underneath the surface is the card of warning. Do not become possessive or controlling. Holding on too tightly to the material world that will lead rigid, stagnant, and displeasing to others. Wealth is a concept. I sat there and I'm just like, how come I'm not seeing things turn around quicker? And it's just like, well, it didn't happen quickly. Like, once upon a time, like, 6.5 years ago, this event happened that led to this, and you weren't strong enough to work where I am now. You were falling apart. Even as babysitting, we would watch something and I would just start bawling, and they're like, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. Just going through something. Okay. It's just like, they're young kids, so that, some days would be harder than others, but I still sat there and babysat. And, I'm like, I love the fact that my kids have someone to play with, and they would do school together, and, we'd go out in the yard and we would play and, play hide and seek and red light, green light. Like, they brought a lot of happiness into the home. What we needed, and it's what I needed. I needed order and structure in my life to sit there and be like, okay, let's just sit there and, have this in our life where it's a routine. School was already a routine, but I feel like working, even though it wasn't much money, it was just like, at that time, that's what I needed, order and structure. I felt like I was doing something for my kids, helping my kids as, we move forward. That summer of meditation really opened me up to receiving messages from spirit, channel messages. They started, doing downloads in 2019. In the beginning there, January it started, So it's just like, you don't know where that, what's going to lead you to that opening up. And I feel like with getting those channel messages was like, there's something here. You know what I mean? And you don't have to be scared of it, A lot of us are scared of it, and I don't blame them. When your sight isn't in, my son's sight wasn't in. And I said, tell them, I am not ready, and I don't want to, please just, I don't know if it was his dad, I don't know who it was. But I just told them, tell them you're not ready, and they will leave you alone. And they've left him alone. When you go through events like that, it's because you're meant for a bigger purpose. You're meant to see and feel and he's always drawn to my tarot cards. Like, even yesterday he was going through them, So it's just like, trust the path that you're on. But I feel like, when they were telling me, like, especially when this job came in, it's like, it was a huge blessing, like benefits and everything, everything, all the stress. But it's just like, we're, the 5 years that 5 years, it's like, all this has happened. And it's just like, it's okay. It took us, it took you 5 years to heal. They see how hard I work. I'm working 2 jobs. I work more than 15 hours a day. They see all those things. So it's just like, we see what you do, but it's like, I also need time to woo-sow. I need time to be with my kids, gardening and doing everything else. You know what I mean? So I can see that, I can also feel the depletion in myself, so it's like, okay, let's, sit there and, work where we need to work and, where we can, but work on the days that I'm working, not on the days that I'm like Friday, like Shabbat doesn't start till 10, so I can work till 10. But it's them saying, like, still take time to be with your kids and do the things that bring you, me and my son love to watch movies together. All of us, like, we got an air mattress, because it's cooler in the living room. So it's just like, all of us sit in the living room watching a movie together, movie nights together. So it's just like we can bring those back in because our couches are not very comfortable. But it's just like, remember the things that bring you joy. You know what I mean? Like, going back to, like, those moments where you wake up and it's like, if you could bottle this feeling forever, it's like, I'm not a millionaire, but you know what? I am grateful for whom I have in my life and the things that I experience, and that I'm here to experience them. When you have that kind of grateful heart without those things in your life, it's like they bring freedom. That's what you want, is freedom. Not to have to worry about bills and like, oh, hydro bill, got hurt, make sure the lights are off and stuff like that. Where you can live a life of freedom where you can just hopefully bless others, you know what I mean? But also just be like, I don't have to sit there and, chase the almighty dollar because, I have that freedom, So anyone that has, that's what I understand when you're like, no offense to these people, but like, you're a billionaire, you know what I mean? You're on your tail end of life, God bless, but you should be using your money for good, because they ain't going to go nobody. Where's it going to go? To the church? Like, they need more money. You know what I mean? It's like, sit there and make a difference while you're still here, not so much so you can leave a name or a legacy, but it's just like that you left a mark on this world where you didn't need the newspapers there or whatever. Not newspapers. I'm watching The Crown, so we're going back to, like, the 1920s, the 1960s. What is it? Where are we in now? 1954, I think we're at now. But it's just like, you don't need cameras and everything, sparkling on what you're doing. It's like, in your heart of hearts what you did. That's what matters. So we have the sun. And that's what I'm talking about. This feels like such twin flame energy because of the fiery energy in this card. Vitality, enlightenment. Imagine for a moment that you're soaking in the warm rays of the sun. It feels nurturing and healing. All your aches and pains just fade away. The sun card brings this amazing energy into your life, vitality and health about. While you feel assurance and clarity in all you do, spend some extra time outside today. Be grateful for the radiance of the sun and the life force it gives all creatures. You know what I mean? It's just like, when it rains, I'm grateful for the rain right now because it's been so freaking hot. It's just like, oh my gosh, please let there be a break in this. You know what I mean? It's just, I don't do well in the heat. It's like breathing in soup. It's so warm. You know what I mean? But, at the same time, I know it's great for the plants. I know it's great for the gardens and crops, and you know what I mean? I understand the positives of it, but oh my word. Thank God for this heat pump. Oh my goodness. But, try to make the most out of life, no matter where the journey is. And remember, like myself, we didn't get here in 2 seconds. It's not going to take us 2 seconds to get out of it. Just like my healing journey, that moment in time when the police officer told me what happened changed my life forever. But at the same time, at that moment, I didn't realize it in the most positive way. He is transformed. He is not gone. It's just a temporary physical separation. But, when you're a healer and you have the gift of sight, what a blessing that is. That's why I never take this gift for advantage. That, I would never dislude anyone. I would never lie to anyone. Like, I'm just a vessel. I would never sit there and act like I'm better than anyone. You know what I mean? That's what I loved about Sylvia Brown. She always kept herself humble. She knew she was a vessel, and she always said that. It's a God-given gift. It really is. And when you're able to see your loved ones that way, it's just like, wow, how humbling that is. That it's like you are able to tell people that you read for and heal for. It's just like, you know what? They're not gone. Especially when I channel people and they know things that I should not know, and they're just like, whoa. And I'm just like, yep. I'm like, I wish, and I know someone will. I know someone out there is that intelligent that they're going to be able to sit there, especially when it comes to healers and mediums, with their consent, able to see the things that we're able to see. I go back to like Batman Returns when Jim Carrey played the Riddler, and they had that machine not to steal their energy, but to sit there and be like, this is who I see. This is what I see. That the images and channel cards and stuff that we see. You know what I mean? When I know someone that I've read for a number of times, and like her husband, her late husband, has come in, and he just chills and he talks. Or when they come in and I'm just like, listen, they're like, I'm gonna go so you can do your reading. I'm like, no. I'm like, you sit here. You're more than welcome. You come whenever you need to. Send me any messages you want. I said, well, I'll do respect to Shabbat. But I'm like, sit here. I'm like, I'm going to pull cards. If you want to sit there and come in and add anything, please do so. And they're like, okay. And the last reading that I did for someone that I'm close to, her late brother came in. And I love the fact that he was just like, that is me. Like cards, like, king cards. He's like, that is me telling her this. And I'm just like, I love that. I'm like, I love the fact that he sat there and we worked together and we were able to deliver potent messages to her. Like, you know what I mean? Believe in yourself more, put yourself first more. You know what I mean? Where it resonated so much more with her and it meant that so much to her that she's still loved and supported. And we always feel that way as single people that are raising families on our own. Even if you're a guardian and you're doing it on your own, you understand how isolating and how lonely that journey can be. You know what I mean? And it's not so much about the physical loneliness, it's about where you can bounce ideas off where you feel like you're failing your children, even though you're not. That just shows a sign of how much you love your kids, where you wish you can do more for them. And it's not so much materially, it's like time. And you know like I'm like, I will get to a point where I can afford a tutor for the kids, and I would love to do that for them. You know what I mean? I know the biggest education is us going around the world. You know what I mean? So it will be different things, but it's like when you care that much about your kids, like they're always on your mind 24/7, how you can improve their life. It's like, you're doing the right thing. But it always doesn't feel that way. Like, like recently, my son's going to be 15, on next Monday. And it's just like, now he's like, I'm going to put this away and put this away. I want to donate this. And I understand that. Some of the things, yes, I understand have to be donated, which I'm proud of them for doing. Like we've given stuff away to like our neighbors and to our, like my nephews, their cousins. But it's just like, I love the fact that they're like, you know what, we can't bring love. Like, even when I stop babysitting, I'm like, let me give this to the next door neighbor girl. Like, she, play kitchen. Who doesn't love a play kitchen with the pots and the pans and all that good stuff? The water runs and the grill sizzles and stuff like that. I'm like, let someone else love this. Bring life into these things, It's just like, it's wonderful. But it still makes me sad, that he's growing up. But it's like, I know I've been here for my kids, but that when you go through this kind of thing, it's like you don't feel like you're enjoying life, participating. We did a lot of things with the kids, but you just can't help but feel that. It's like life is moving forward in a wonderful way, and I'm proud of the men that they're becoming. But at the same time, it's like, I miss those moments where I was a surrogate and, homeschooling and, they're dancing around, doing music class and stuff together, going to the parks and stuff. It's just, you miss that stuff, But I know we'll be doing, great adventures, beyond that now. I know that. But, there's nothing like when your kids are small. It's just such a precious time, you know? One hand, like, I know, like, I was always fearful that I was going to pass away like Shane did, like, and leave my kids behind, and that would be the hugest heartbreak of all, and I know I'm not going to be here forever, but it's just like, I pray to God there was someone that loves them and nurtures them and cares for them, like, being their father, have cared for them, and even more so, and it's just like, to be blessed to see your grandchildren, you know what I mean? Or your great grandchildren. What a blessing in life. But, that's the biggest thing, is to see your children happy and, having their life, So it's just, at one part of myself, it was just like, I can't wait till they're 18 so I don't have to fear so much. But the other part of you, now they're getting to 18, you're like, oh my God. You know what I mean? It's just like, oh my gosh, can I rewind the clock and get that time back again? You can't, but, But new, greater adventures lie ahead, as adults. It's just like, you get to do bigger, more expansive things, experience things as a family, on a bigger level, So, It's bittersweet. You know, that's what they said. The next book is called Bittersweet. I was like, oh man. I love the crap out of my kids, man. That is for sure. No bigger blessing in life than to sit there and love so much, so much. That was the biggest thing for me, and I always say that the biggest seller for me in the Hebrew faith is when we did that hymn that we do before. I wish I knew the name of it. I'll try and remember it, but it's just like we sing Shalom Aleichem, welcoming all of our ancestors and loved ones to join us for Shabbat, and then we do that one right before the Kiddush, and they have the English underneath it, the subtitles. But when they were showing like the meaning of this, I'm gonna cry. The meaning of it was just like it's in the Shabbat prayer book, like the prayers, like you could say. That's where I found all of them, and I was lucky enough to find them on YouTube. But my kids love hearing that song. But it's just like they're like the best way to describe this is like the unconditional love that between a parent and a child is the way that God loves you, and I'm like, wow. That's the way Yahweh and Yeshua love you. And I was like, I am like, that's it for me. You know? I love the fact that it's just like family. It's very Italian family values where it's just like Sunday dinner is so important. You know, you go to church, you sit there as a family. It's a family moment. It's bonding. Like the kids are like, oh, we gotta go sit there. But it's not about that. It's like going there as a family and reconnecting after a long week. Sitting there and having a meal together. Like, yeah, maybe you have meals. God bless that you have dinner together with as a family every single night. But there's something about that dinner. It's totally different. You know, we started doing Sunday dinners. We started doing it at the apartment. I'm like, Shane, I want to start doing Sunday dinners. He's like, no problem. Roasted chicken, mashed potatoes, biscuits, like all gravy, all of it. And he was just like, this is nice. You know what I mean? So it's just like things like that. It's just like no matter what belief system, how you raise your family, values, whatever. It's like one day a week, all of you connect together and have that, you know, time together. So, you know, I know we're talking about this great, you know, twin love flame, but it's like, you know, there's also, you can have that kind of love connection, not in an appropriate way, but that deep love for your loved ones around you, where it's just like that bond that it feels like you were their parent or you guys were a family in another life. It's just unmistakable, you know? That's what life is all about. That is what life should be celebrated about. So I hope you guys enjoyed these daily tarot cards for Wednesday, July the 5th, 2023. May the universe bless you good. We'll see you for the next daily tarot card. Bye.